everyone.
Yeah, yeah, thanks for joining. Yeah. So,
Thank you so
Uchenna,
much.
maybe you should be the first person, right? So, how did you get come across AWS? How did you came across it?
How did I come across this event?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. So, first, my name is Uche, and I'm the Chief AI Officer at Remita. Remita is a
Okay.
payments platform in Nigeria, just like you would have known, alongside Pixela and other platforms. So I lead AI and research there, where we ensure safe and responsible adoption of AI across board, both within the enterprise and for our products. So, we have account managers in AWS that actually just pointed out that we should attend this event. So I just came in just to see, right? This is like my first time to understand how you guys, how the meet up, I mean, like what you guys do basically here. I understand this like a recap of what was done in the event last year at re-event, where we talked
Yeah, that's
about
correct.
there were a few announcements made. So I just here just to hear, listening and see a few things we can pick up and work together on. Thanks for having me, Afin.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. So basically, I want to say in summary, you are like, let me use the word a newbie to AWS and cloud computing. Is that correct?
Sorry, did you? I didn't get that question, please. Can you ask again?
I said in summary, I want to assume you are a newbie to AWS and cloud computing at
Uh,
large.
I, I won't I won't say I'm a newbie. I've
Okay.
been using AWS for quite some time over the years. Like I said, I lead a full team of engineers working on AWS and doing stuff. So actually, our perimeter deployment of AI rides on Amazon Bedrock. All our AI deployment stack runs on AWS today. And so we've been using AWS for the past couple of years.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense a lot. Yeah. Thanks. So Opeyemi, wow, a lot of people have actually joined, right? So thank you all for joining. I can't mention everyone's name because I can see a whole lot of gallery of people's names over here. You understand? So thank you everyone for joining, right? Tunde, thank you for joining also. So perhaps again we can just get started right now. So I will do my introduction again. So good evening, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, depending on the time you're watching this. So in the crypto field, we say GM, right? So probably in the morning, afternoon, or evening, you don't mind. So my name is Paulo Afolabi. I'm a software and DevOps engineer. So currently I focus on the backend DevOps and blockchain side in the software engineering field, right? So I currently work from Concordium Blockchain and Solana Foundation, right? So it's very nice to have everyone here, and I'm very glad to be your host for today, right? So the purpose of this event, as you are most have seen in the meetup page, or probably someone shared it to you on social media, maybe WhatsApp or something. You must have seen the purpose of the events. AWS events recap actually happened last year at AWS event, right? So we're having a recap event today, and thanks to everyone for joining once again, right? So to kick off the event, right? So we have to have a welcome speech from Akimolu. Akimolu, are you still there with us?
Yeah, sorry, sorry, I was mute. Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, so can we have a welcome speech from you?
All right. Thank you so much, Afolabi. Thank you for wonderful presentation, and thank you for being facilitator. So thank you everyone for being here. I really appreciate everyone for joining. This is probably the first of our AWS user group virtual event, and I think more is coming up. So thank you everyone for joining. So I just want to talk about some of what is the group is all about, and what have we achieved so far, and what we have in plan so far. So the group started, AWS user group started at 2018, and has become a cornerstone for AWS enthusiastic in Nigeria. And the community growth is actually fantastic. So we started with initial 1,000 members, and now it has grown over about 5,000 when I look at on the meetup. And we have about 1,500 active members in WhatsApp group itself. So we split the WhatsApp group into probably 3 different groups, and it's still growing. So kudos to everyone. The community would not be where it is without, the volunteers, without everybody participating and helping within the group. So the vision of the group actually is to create a vibrant community, right? Centered around Amazon Web Services, fostering collaboration, that's the key. Sharing knowledge. I've seen people that come into the community just to get a full platform of knowledge, and that knowledge was being shared without any hesitation. So, thanks to all the volunteers and also the career growth for cloud professional. We see people that have gained a lot of AWS certification, jobs and tips and so many things. So it's a community that is thriving. And also the mission of the community is also to unify AWS enthusiastic, professional, fanatic across Nigeria and empowering them to grow and also to learn and succeed in AWS. Actually, this is a community that is not dependent on AWS. We are not, we are non-associated with AWS, but we do promote AWS because we just AWS enthusiastic. We all love AWS. We love the platform, and everybody use it, and we see the results, and we just wanted to spread the opportunity across everywhere. So some of the key achievements that we've started so far is we've hosted more than probably 15 in-person events since the day we started. COVID is probably one of it, but we'd have done more. And then more than probably 20 virtual events, and there's still more. So we supported about 150 members in earning AWS certificates throughout our initiative, and AWS voucher. AWS is actually helping us to help the community in gaining a lot of certifications and also knowledge sharing resources. So kudos to AWS in that aspect. Also, they develop a strong network. That's the key. I want to emphasize on that because the community itself is strong. And without you guys, community cannot be as it is because everybody has important parts in the community. Mentors, there's so many mentors, that are in community that's helping a lot of people in terms of solving problems, guidance and giving tips. So I'm proud, to all 50 or more AWS community builders that is contributing to the AWS ecosystem. You guys are doing an amazing job. We see them, helping and sharing knowledge and focusing on different things and being part of the community. So education focus. That's another thing that I wanted to focus on before I turn it back on to the facilitator. So continuous learning. So we focus on involving cloud computing landscape, helping members to stay up to date in AWS services, security, best practice. So that's what all this is all about. AWS reinvent, some other AWS important topics and how to scale in a smaller scales, in a bigger scales, your big company, your small company. We have different kind of professionals. So some of our past meetup events has been focused on AWS services overview, cloud architecture, AWS security, reinvent caps, and more. We've done some hands-on workshop, technical sessions, speaker engagement. This is something we having today. contributing to member skills development. So this is very critical in our community, sharing knowledge, continue learning. And also supportive and collaborative environment. So we want the community to support each other in terms of initiative of, building skills, learning about AWS, understanding the importance of using AWS in the real world. Not just learning it in the lab, but also um, how do you use it in the real life? How do you use it in the real world, which is encouraging members to share their experience. So one thing that we haven't been done lately is career paths. So which is something that we will be looking into. And also AWS certification. How do you get a certification? Somebody that already gets certification, how do you mentors others who are looking to get into certification? Mentorship is something that we don't even develop. It's just natural. People are mentor, you learn something experience, from a job or from you getting your certification or something that you're sharing it, so the WhatsApp group, the chat room is a community-based knowledge sharing. And yeah, so we also embrace all level of expertise, you know, inclusivity. So our community is open to everyone, whether you are just starting or AWS, your journey is a beginner, novice, and an expert. We have a platform of expert that can build your career in the platform. Also, we also support newcomers. So we offer guidelines and help beginners to navigate their AWS journey. So we see some people that just come in because, maybe the AWS was introduced to them and all of a sudden they start learning different things. So I don't want to take too much time, but we also have plans and upcoming events, in terms of collaborating with our AWS security group, which is our sister group that just spin off out of AWS, and they're doing amazing things. So we've been partnering with them. We're doing last event we did was the AWS community event, which is amazing. So we're going to be doing the same thing and see ways we can also grow the community. So we're going to be announcing the upcoming events, physical or virtual events. And then we're calling on all volunteers. We cannot do this without volunteer, please. So we are always looking for passionate leaders to join. You guys are leaders of tomorrow. So we're always looking for volunteers. So please join us. I think there will be a slide somewhere where people can join or can share, how to join the community. So thank you everyone for your support. So together we are building a stronger, more vibrant AWS community. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Take it over.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Akimolu, right?
You're
So
welcome.
yeah, you have said a lot, and actually the community has been very helpful, especially to me. I remember 2018 or 2019 when I started using AWS, it was like, what the hell is this? You understand? But when I joined the group, it will look as if, not to look as if it is exactly that they are going to hold you by your hand and they're going to show you around AWS. You understand? How to actually create an account, how to host, run the services, everything you need to actually work to AWS. Either you're in DevOps, you're a software engineer, whatever person you are, even to AWS, I really recommend AWS user group. It's a whole lot. You are going to learn a whole lot with them. Yeah. So if you are just joining, thank you a lot for joining also. So our advice, you will actually stay put to the end of the event because we have a whole lot of gift that we are sharing to people. So I would recommend you stay till the end of the meeting, right? To the end of the event. So thank you again for joining, right? So proceeding further, right? So Akimolu, I don't know. Perhaps you did not mention something that I would like to talk about right now. We were supposed to talk about the highlights that actually happened, right? So some of it are just generative AI, digital sovereignty, and security. So can you just give us a brief introduction about it? Did you hear me?
Sorry, I missed the first part. Can you repeat that? Sorry.
Generative AI.
Okay. What the communities have done with generative AI?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So one of the initiatives that so last year actually we had a speaker that comes. I can't, sorry for me not reminding. I remember a certain name, but the speaker came in and it this is an AWS initiative on how we can build a platform, we can build an application on using AI, uh, uh, using AWS AI. And one of our initiatives is also to bring more speakers and bring more awareness into using AWS AI, Bedrock, and some other tools that is available. In that aspect, um, we would like to also see if we can do a workshop coming up on AWS generative AI, and people are talking about it. And we brought certain speaker last year to talk about it, but this year I wanted us to take it further and trying to do some workshop. So please stay tuned to that. And like I said, the community, the WhatsApp group is a very good place to ask any questions regarding any issues. If you have a project that you're working on and you get stuck with your project, the community is a very helpful. Rather than using ChatGPT, we know we all use ChatGPT, but the community is a very useful place. So keep um, just keep in touch. We're gonna post, our new event coming up on the new topics. Some of it would be on AWS AI generative uh, AI platform and how you can use AI to build machine learning and build your application with AWS platform. So just stay tuned to that, and we're looking forward to that. Did I answer the question, Folabi? I think you're mute.
I'm so sorry. So thanks a lot. You answered the question perfectly, right? So, guys, I want to apologize for my camera. I don't know what's actually wrong. I think I'm gonna smash it after this event. I'm gonna get another one, right? So we are moving to the next agenda in the meeting today, right? Which is the speaker session, right? So, Ro, right? Can you just throw it up and just get started with the speaker
Do
session?
we
Just
have
share for
any?
me.
Sorry to cut you off, Afolabi. Do we have any slides to share so that people can see? Uh, I don't know. I didn't see anyone, but did you have any slide presented?
No, so far, no, we
Okay,
don't have any.
that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, right. So, Ro, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, Afolabi.
Right.
Loud and clear.
So
So,
you can just throw it up.
thank you. First, I would like to thank Akim Olu for the amazing introduction. I wrote down a couple of points which I could personally use. But what really stood out to me was the community-based emphasis. He keeps hitting on, because there's really no way that, it's really difficult to grow without a community. There's an African saying, if I can really get it right, is if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you have to go together. And I really like the fact that he kept hitting on community, community collaboration. And Afolabi, thanks a lot for the for being an amazing host too. I really feel at home here. I think not that I think about this is my first time being here, so I really enjoy it. I'm enjoying it already. So my name's Arocious Nzimufo, and I'm a software developer first. Then I'm an AWS serverless hero, and also what else? Okay, I created a platform which is focused on learning cloud computing through hands-on workshops only, called EduCloud Academy. So yeah, when I say learn hands-on workshops only. I don't have any issues with certifications and all that. What I just realized in the community is that there were, people were just really too focused on grabbing or hoarding certifications and actually skipping the practical aspects. Then when I looked through and I saw conversations on social media and stuff like that, I saw that a lot of developers or enthusiasts were like, we don't know what projects to build. What can we actually build with cloud and stuff like that. So creating this platform was actually a way of me saying, okay, this are the type of projects you can use to learn or to build to learn cloud computing. And this is the way that I did in order to have jobs, in order to have opportunities, which I keep on having frequently. So that's really about what I do. I think we should dive into the reInvent recap, and I'll talk about what excited me the most. I mean, I don't think I can talk about everything. There was just a lot, but I'll talk about what excited me the most and what I really went down, like I really got down and used. So I'll just go ahead and share my screen if that's okay. And so I like visuals, I like to show you folks what I'm talking about.
Yeah, makes sense. Please do.
All right, so the first thing is documents advanced. No, all right. So I'll go ahead and share this. I want to share all of my screen, entire screen. Okay. All right, so let me know when you all can see my screen.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
All right, so this is actually a post on the community.aws blog, which has a PDF file and dates of other user upcoming community recaps for reInvent. You can actually just pay attention to it to see which other events are coming up, or you can download this PDF file and see everything that was actually released within 2024 for reInvent. So I'd already downloaded the PDF and I'll just go ahead and open it up. And it's 126 pages long, but I'll just go to what excited me the most and we'll talk about it. So the first feature which was released that I was really excited about was concerning a platform or a service called AppSync. So it's called AWS AppSync Events. So this service or this feature on this service, AppSync is actually a service which helps you build GraphQL, real-time GraphQL APIs on AWS. So now it has AppSync alone already has that real-time feature. What I mean by that is that when you send data, when you do something, it actually updates in real time over the wire on the other edge. So a lot of users were like, what if I want to have that real-time feature, but without using GraphQL? WebSockets already offer that with API Gateway. With API Gateway, you create REST APIs. And then with AppSync, you create GraphQL APIs. So API Gateway already has WebSockets. But now how can I build real-time applications without using AppSync, without using GraphQL? So AWS listened and they released the AWS AppSync Events API. Now, just the fact that it's been connected to, the name has AppSync in it, doesn't mean that you use GraphQL. I think there was a better way of actually putting it, but I'm still okay with this. So it's a serverless WebSocket API to power real-time web and mobile experiences. Let me go ahead and show you all what I'm talking about like I told you folks, right? Let's really just look at it real quick. I already have sample applications all over the place. So let's say you want to build a comments section for any application, social media app, whatever. I would like to have multiple instances of this. So I'll bring it out. I'll add another instance here in this tab, and I'll bring it out. And then I just, let me put this down. Thank you. All right, so I just want you all to see. Okay, so I can just say hi in a post, and it updates in real time this way. I say hello, and I can share this link, and you can also use it, and can have ourselves a group chat here. And the nice thing about it is the amount of code used to build this is so minute, it's so insignificant. You'll be amazed at the possibilities of AppSync events, and it's really scalable. When I'm talking about really scalable, it's very, very scalable. So with this, you can quickly build up a group chat application or any type of real-time application with very little code and overhead. So if you're interested in knowing how this application is being built, at the end of this talk or at the end of this session, I'll share the link to the platform where you guys can actually see it step by step how it was built. The second application I would like to showcase using, again, AWS AppSync events, but now adding payments because at the end of the day, what I was trying to focus on was how can I build an application which I can even put out there and make some money? Because at the end of the day, we really want to make money and want to also learn something and showcase our skill. So there's this application that I also built. It was an idea for, let me say, a general donation page where maybe you're sick or maybe you need a laptop, you need some assistance, and you just want to put out a link where people can donate or stuff like that. There are platforms that offer this, but maybe you want to create your own stuff. We want to just know how it works. Under the hood, you can build this like really fast, really great using AWS AppSync and Stripe with EventBridge events. So here, let me say I want to donate to this nice looking kids. So I just click on the donate now button and it opens up the Stripe payment page, add in my email, add in card details. I mean, it's obviously fake. Yeah, okay. Add in that, and then I can donate $10 to this initiative. I'm a nice person, so I'm just playing. And you see it up here, like up here in real time. You guys can, let me see, you can go ahead and try it out. Can go ahead and try it out if you like. Try out any of them. Make donations, or you can chat. So that's enough for AWS AppSync. I can go on and on and on because we really built a lot of stuff with it. The thing is, in order to appreciate AWS AppSync events API, you would have to really see how stuff was done before. When you now see how in order to build WebSockets around API gateway, if you see the amount of code and the overhead, and then you look at how AppSync event API does it, that's what really gives you that's how you actually appreciate how easy it is to use AppSync events. So moving forward, I think this one, I'll just take off all of this. So many screens already. Moving forward, the next next announcement that caught my attention was Amplify hosting, static website hosting. This actually was a pain for a lot of people, like just creating, people just want to host their blogs. Maybe they don't want to use what's already out there. They just have their HTML, CSS, and JavaScript application, which they just want to host. So Amplify now makes it extremely easy. At first, what the alternative to this, which we have spoken about or have written about on EduCloud, is actually using secure website hosting with Amazon CloudFront, S3, and CloudFormation. This is a lot longer, and if you really want to get granular with your configurations and stuff like that, this is how you do it, or this is how it used to be done. But right now, it's a lot easier to use Amazon S3 static website hosting with Amplify, because it's just ClickUps at this point. So this is also really great. And if you have the opportunity to try it out, please don't hesitate. The next feature which caught my attention is about step functions. No, not this. Yes. No, just another. I'm sorry. Yeah, this is it. Also, like I keep insisting, or I keep iterating that in order to really appreciate some of these updates or some of these improvements or some of these innovations, you have to see how it used to be done before. When you see how it's done before, and then you see how it's done now, you can then make a comparison. You can compare and contrast, and you definitely appreciate the improvement. So at first, in order to, I don't know if any of you have worked with AWS Step Function Service, but at first, actually swinging around variables and states and inputs within a step functions workflow wasn't an easy task. But now they've actually introduced a feature which is called JSONADA and variables in such a way that you don't have to, because the step functions workflow has inputs, it has states rather. So those states, the workflow moves within states. So sometimes you want to take the state of, let me say, state A, and you want to take the output of state A and use it as input of state, let me say, G. So you would have to pass, at first you have to pass that some way for it to arrive at G. But right now, with this new update, you can actually just save the variables in a variable container and then retrieve it in any state within your workflow. This actually built an example workshop with this, but I combined it with what's really ringing right now, generative AI, to not just to make the application really look like something which can be done or which exists in the real world. So I created, let's go to it. So I created this application I just called it a chat UI, where you might be a research student where you have a lot of research documentations, both you have it in PDF format, you have audio recordings, and you have video recordings of everything. And you just want a system where you can push all of this data to that system. And then you have a conversation with that data, like, okay, within this period, from this time to this time of this video, what was the lecturer talking about? And then, like, for your documents, or if you have PDF documents also, like, you can say, pick out all the quotes that was made by this person, and actually you can attach them to the year and the time with which they made them. So you can really get valuable insights from a set of documents which you push to the system. There are already thousands of applications out there doing the same thing. You add chat PDF, even though you handled only PDF. Google has the notebook, and there's a lot of it. But the reason why I did this workshop was because I really wanted to showcase how to use, if you want to actually know how to use generative AI and AWS serverless services, because you don't want to do something that when it's not running, you keep incurring charges. You really want to be charged when you're actually heavily using it, because serverless also has a really nice and fancy free tier. So let me see if I just refresh this and push in. I'll start by pushing in a PDF. Also here, I had to do it in real time. I had to use some real time. This application was just a mix and match of the AppSync, Events API, Event Bridge, SQS, and I was just trying to bring together all the necessary services to create something that you can actually see in the real world and appreciate. So if you see when it's going through all the steps in the back end, it'll actually be updating here, like, okay, now I've uploaded your PDF file to S3. Okay, now I've like created chunks of your PDF files using Amazon Bedrock, and now I'm uploading those chunks as vector embeddings to a vector database, let's say Pinecone. And I actually also have the entire architecture, which just looking at it and maybe reading the notes on the side, you really understand everything that is going on. So I think those three, if I look back here, it's completed. I can also go ahead now to upload, let me say, an audio file, so that just upload an audio file so that you can see the step functions, and maybe I can explain some, I don't know, JSON or something of that sort. So all right, so this is actually the step functions workflow running. And what happens is that when you upload an audio file, the first thing it does is, or what it actually does is that it uses the Amazon transcribe service to extract, to convert the audio file to text. So when it converts that audio file now to text, we will take that text, the text file, and then we pass it through Amazon Bedrock, like creating vector embeddings of it, and then using LangChain, we can then save those embeddings to a vector store, which we can definitely retrieve later. This is running. We'll just give it a little bit of time, and when it's done, we can get back to it. And then I think the last announcement, which I really love, because I love this announcement because I made a mistake at a certain point in my development journey. I forgot to turn off this database, and it costed me about $1,000. No, it was $2,000, about $2,000. But thankfully, I wrote to AWS, and they helped me pay off that bill, because I was really not doing anything, but this service initially wasn't serverless. So that meant that whether you're using it or not, you just keep incurring charges. But right now, they've made it in such a way that they've made it serverless. So it scales down to zero. So you only get to incur charges when you're not using it. Oh, when you're using it, rather. Sorry about that. So you incur charges only when you're using it. So if you also want to know, let me see. Let's see this, I hope. If you also want to know how to, let's say, build applications using Amazon Aurora serverless on EduCloud, we still have a lot of tutorials concerning that. You can always check it out and I think while this is, I think it's still transcribing. So it was a huge audio file, and I think that's just about it. But you have to understand that there's about 126 pages of updates. So there's a ton of stuff which I think I will take time to maybe get down to and understand it. I don't just like to understand it. I like to actually use it and see if I can make I can actually know the difference or appreciate the update. I won't just talk about stuff that I haven't personally used or checked up on. So while this is uploading, I think that's the end of my own talk. And if there's one last thing I can talk about or just add about for a minute is that generative AI is taking over. Like you get a lot of jobs, a lot of openings, or a lot of opportunities just learning generative AI alone. And with a solid cloud foundation, adding generative AI will need to make you stand out. And at the end of the day, we need jobs, we need those opportunities in order to survive. So if you have the opportunity, or you feel like you have to go after those things, don't even hesitate. Go after them, because that's what I basically do. And I have the opportunities coming in from left and right. So if there's any trick in my bag that I would like to let you have, is that focus on generative AI, have a solid cloud foundation, and you would really enjoy it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Ro, for that wonderful presentation. It was very spectacular. You understand? Talk more about generative AI. Makes sense a lot. I really appreciate you. So I'm gonna throw up questions right now. If anyone have questions for him from the audience.
I have one question. Oh,
Okay,
Javi was
yeah.
asked. So, question to Ro, right?
Javi.
Thanks. Oh, Javi, you want to go first? I can ask my
Okay.
question.
Okay, quick one. So thank you so much, Will, for this amazing presentation. I want to ask, some of these projects that you have showed us, we're able to go there and see how it works. But is there a way, have you documented somewhere that probably maybe we can share the documentation link with us, where we can actually try as much as possible, go through your documentation and try to recreate it from our own hand? I think this is one of the beauty of a community, and also working as an engineer in the field.
Thanks a lot for the question, Ayinde. I hope I pronounced your name properly. Sorry. So I've shared the link to EduCloud Academy on the chats, but most of the interesting workshops are paid. If you are interested in taking any of these workshops, please reach out and I'll give you a free voucher, which you can access it for at least a month. So give you enough time, if you're serious, to go through a lot of those workshops. And also, if you don't have an AWS account, I think in about 2 weeks, because we are really just trying to hook it up, in about 2 weeks, when you get on EduCloud, will just give you an ephemeral account where you can practice how you like for every workshop. So you don't really have to, if you don't have an AWS account, you still can learn solidly on the platform. So if you're interested in learning a lot about generative AI, serverless, or building cloud projects, then EduCloud Academy has it all, and you can reach out and I'll give you a voucher which will help you.
Okay, thanks a lot. Jamil, I'm not sure if you heard me. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, perfectly.
All right. Thank you.
Hello,
So,
sir.
yeah, Babatunde, you want to have a question?
It's not really a question or questions, brother. It's just an
Okay.
observation.
Okay.
I actually appreciate our presenter for wonderful presentation that he has given to us. But notwithstanding, we
Okay.
that are new into this field, actually the presentation that he has been making, it is like as if, it's just mapping things that are irrelevant to me as a person. And I know most of the tech persons in the house, they will have had proper understanding of what he's saying. Like for me, over the day, I just pick an interest and I said, I want to venture into cloud computing. Sir, how do you think we can increase our learning curve as far as this issue of cloud computing is concerned? Because when we are talking about the cloud computing, I think Microsoft Azure is there, then AWS is there, and then GCP is also there. But I know the presenter today, he has gone far in the business. But we are just here on the platform with you, watching what you are saying, listening to you, watching your mouth, whatever is coming out of your mouth, sir. Please, sir, how can we increase our learning curve? Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot for the question. I don't know who was speaking, but it's very funny. So, if I can talk about my journey a little bit. I knew about AWS in 2021. That's not really far ago. Like, it's not a long time ago. So, the first thing is that what accelerated my journey across cloud or across AWS was just the fact that I loved programming, and a lot of these stuffs are built on the programming foundation. So I know that for a beginner, definitely I was singing a song, and not a very boring song for a beginner. Trust me, I've taught beginners for a long time, and I know when I'm singing a song. I was like, one thing I always like to do is always plant an idea, even if you're a beginner. But I like to show you, like, not just tell you, I like to show you the capabilities of something, what the endpoint, what you can actually build, how you can be useful either to yourself or to somebody that would definitely pay you. And then now you walk your way, or can now figure out how to walk you from where you are to where we think that you can be, and then you take yourself from there now and go beyond. So to answer your question, as a beginner, the first thing is I would like to if you want to take my path, which is building applications, then you have to at least know a programming language. You don't have to be a master at it. You have to know a programming language. JavaScript is good. Python is excellent. Whatever that you are, PHP, even though there's very little content about PHP in the cloud, but the JavaScript and Python will go a long way as a start. Then if you have that foundation, then on the platform that I'm talking about, or that I have, EduCloud Academy, which is not affiliated to AWS in any way. I've just been building it for the past 2 years on my own, so it's not affiliated to AWS in any way. You can get on it, and we have a beginner section which has 18 free workshops. So right now we don't have learning paths, but that's what we're actually working on, so that we can put the workshops in order. That okay, after this workshop, go to this workshop. After this, just something like that. But we have free workshops where you have to know what you want to build, or if you don't know, we'll tell you what we feel like you should build in order to learn cloud. And then you start from there and move forward. But the first thing, if you want to take this path, is a little bit of programming. I don't know if I've answered your question.
You've answered my questions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Also, I wanted to follow up on that question. Ro, Thank you for wonderful presentation. Awesome.
Thank
So
you.
for someone who wanted to get into AI, newbie, right? That doesn't know where to start. The last person I asked the question. So some of our community, they come in, they don't know where to start, but they have interest in particular skill sets. So what is this transition process like? What are some of the basic stuff that person need to understand first as prerequisites before they can even start, learning AI? Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Akim. Thank you so much. So the way I approach my own way is always very well. A lot of people just very few people really enjoy my own way of doing stuff, but it works for me. So the thing is that I like to be aggressive, and then I like to be real with myself, it's very concerning my dreams or my aspirations. That actually puts me in real time, and it tells me the truth, and it makes me grounded, or it humbles me so that I can really go after what I want. If you want to get into AI, you have to. The first thing is that you have to know you have to know how big AI is, and you have to also know how big your goal is, and all that. And then from there, you have to now get grounded, and you know that okay, everybody now is getting into AI, but at what level do I want to reach with the AI? Maybe I want to be in the top 10%. Okay, so what do people in the top, what capabilities or how do people in the top 10% start? I would always say that it's better for me. I think it's always better to start with the programming foundation. First, you'd have to have not a solid, I'm not talking about, but if you can go solid, then it's good. You have to have a solid, or you start with the programming foundation. When you have any of those skills, maybe you have Python on your belt, or you have JavaScript on your belt, and then from there you can maybe do some introductory lessons. Now the things AI is in like so many. AI can be broken down into so many different fields. You have generative AI, you have machine learning and stuff like that. But I'll talk about generative AI, and because I'm not a machine learning engineer or data scientist. If that's the path that you want to actually take, then you definitely have to maybe see a data science, a machine learning hero, or maybe online. But I'll talk about generative AI. So if I was starting today, what I'll do is that I'll try to learn Python, possibly, preferably, or JavaScript, but I'll try to learn Python. Then from there, I'll try to learn AWS Bedrock. Maybe I might start with ClickOps, because you can actually create generative AI apps on AWS using ClickOps. What I mean by ClickOps is that you use the console, and then you actually build your chatbot, or you build your AI agent, you build whatever. And then from there, you can then now, when you see how that works on the console, you can now start getting in the like start knowing how it works under the hood. Like why did this act this way when when I gave it a query? Why did it respond this way and stuff like that? And there's a ton of AWS Bedrock tutorials out there, and I'm also like within the next 2 weeks, we're also working on a lot of AWS Bedrock generative AI content. But my focus is always around how to use Bedrock in the real world, because I'm always focused on how I can be useful to either myself or to somebody who needs to pay me, because I always need people to pay me. I need to keep up with this lifestyle. So, without the jokes, I hope I've at least maybe given you 50%, answer your question 50%, or maybe 60% or something.
Very,
Sorry,
very
I would
good.
like
So
to,
thank you.
okay. Sorry, I would like to add to the answers that,
Yeah, sorry guys, we are running out of time. Please, if you have any more question, I can see Larry's feeling of sad and Gina. Please, you can drop it in the comment section, you understand? Or you can join the community to get more information. So we have to move forward to the next session, which is the panelist session. You understand? So I would like to introduce Ezike Chukwu in Meta. Are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, good evening. So you can proceed to throw it up.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. We are entering one of the most exciting sessions of today's event, which is the panelist session, and I want you guys to hold your pen. Make sure you're with your pen. Make sure you're with your journal and everything that will be said during this session. Try as much as possible to document them. So I will start off by introducing myself. My name is Ezike Chukwuletam Kwerechuku. I am the AWS Cloud Captain of the Federal University of Technology, Owerri, and I'm also a member of the AWS user group Nigeria. So I'll be introducing our panelist members as we begin today's session. Is anyone saying anything?
No, you can proceed. You can proceed.
Okay. Please, try to mute your mics. Please try to mute your mics. The first person that we have on our list is Elizabeth Adegbaju Adeotun, a 12-time certified AWS cloud consultant. And the next person that we have is Victory Eze, a senior DevOps engineer at a healthcare company in United Kingdom. Then the next person that we have is Adebayo Balogun, a cybersecurity expert. And finally, I hope I'm pronouncing this name correctly. Okay. That was just the speaker. So I would love the panelists to unmute their mics and just proceed with introducing themselves.
I think I'll go first then. My name is Elizabeth. I am currently based in Germany. Of course, I'm Nigerian. Adegwaji, I'm Yoruba. And yes, I work as a cloud consultant in Germany with Public Cloud Group GmbH. And I was also in Nigeria in September, end of September for the AWS Community Day West Africa. I don't know if anyone here was in attendance, but I also gave a short talk there towards the end. Yes, what do? I consult on cloud infrastructure. My expertise is in AWS and DevOps, and that kind of sums up my entire day-to-day activities at work. So I recently completed my AWS certifications and currently I'm looking into multi-cloud development. So also checking out Google Cloud and Microsoft Azure kind of thing. So yes, that's all about me. And to you.
Okay, man, I don't want to be intimidated, but I'm kind of envious. Not only have you achieved 12 certifications, you're also looking at other cloud providers, possibly going there to dominate them as well. That is amazing. That is amazing. I hope other ladies can learn from you, to upskill and become valuable. So I want Miss Victory to take over next and introduce herself. Is Victory here?
Yeah, I'm here. Good evening.
Madam Victory. We would love you to I would love for you to introduce yourself, tell us more about yourself, what you do. I checked your LinkedIn profile, but I don't want to sound like a robot introducing you. I want it to come from you.
Okay. No,
Yeah,
good evening.
thank you.
My name is Victory Eze, and funny, my cloud computing journey has been a funny one for someone that asked for a beginner. I remember 2019, I was actually in academics. I was a lecturer at the University of Benin. I studied physics and electronics, and as of 2019, I was just fed up with the federal government salary and all. And I reached out to one of my friends, and then I think we all know him yet, so if I call his name. Then he was not a serious guy in school, right? We were the scholars in school. He wasn't the scholar at all. I was the scholar. So after school, I got retained and he has to fed. But when I reached out to him and I was like, guys, see, life don't tire me. How far? And for the guy to pepper me, just send me his pay slip for that month. It was about $6,000 as out of 2019 compared to my 120,000 naira as a lecturer, I was when my life just changed. I was like, guys, show me the way. Well, to cut the long story short, it was into AWS, so AWS Hero. So I got into AWS. It was gbas because I was combining lecturing with learning and all of that. But as out of 2020, 2021, I got into the real market. I was in Benin, but I was able to get a remote job in Lagos and a lot of that. But my learning journey just kind of pivoted. It wasn't easy learning cloud because I felt I couldn't apply it to things. But like, I love what our first speaker did. He not only tell us how we can learn cloud, but how we can implement cloud. I think that's one of the challenges I notice people have. I'm not talking, I just want to introduce myself. That because if you really want to watch EC2 instance, okay, after creating EC2 instance and destroying EC2 instance, what next? Right? So it's always very difficult like that. But when you have a project to apply it to, and that was actually the roadmap I took, started applying into projects, work with Africa Prudential. As a DevOps engineer, I came in then as a junior. They said they were bringing a senior and they never brought a senior. So I grew up to be the senior and I worked with them for a while until I relocated to the United Kingdom, where I currently am still a senior DevOps. In my current company, we use AWS and Azure. So we run test load on our AWS, we run production load on our Azure. So you can imagine that kind of dynamic. But it has been a wonderful journey. Reinvent has been awesome. Yeah, I met Elizabeth in reInvent. And when I heard about her, I was proud that I had 2 certifications. But when I heard about her own certification, I just like, be my mentor guy. But
Okay. Okay, Madam Victory, I see that we have a lot of things to discuss today, so please let
yeah,
us
so
contain them. Let us contain the excitement. So the next person that we have on our list is Mr. Balogun. I would love for you to come up and introduce yourself also, please. I know Madam Victory was very full of words during her own introduction, but please try to um and keep to time. You can handle you can come up now.
Hi, thanks, Ezike. My name is Adebayo Balogun. I work as a IT security lead with a healthcare company here in the US. My experience basically is I've worked in different sectors, government, telecoms, data center business, and moreover, that's why I appreciate cloud infrastructure itself, working in data center itself. My interests are typically cyber threat response, privacy, AI, and governance. So I think with that, I'll just keep it short.
Okay. Thank you very much. So now we'll be diving into the questions like head on, so that because we're supposed to end this program by 6, but I hope we can still do that, First of all, I would like to say that I like your head warmer, Mr. Victory. I hope you can DHL it to me. I mean, Mr. Balogun. So I would be starting with Mr. Adebayo Balogun. What I would want to know how the reInvent experience was like. Did you enjoy it? What are your key takeaways? Just tell me your own personal experience from the event. I know each and every one of us we have the general experience that the reInvent have for us, but then we have our own personal experience from this event. Can you tell us what you particularly learned and what interests you about the event?
Thanks once again. Good day, everyone. Like I mentioned, I'm into IT security, so going to reInvent was different. So first of all, I need to mention that there's one other conference that AWS hosts every year. The next one is in June in Philly, and that was my first AWS conference. That's AWS Reinforce. And so if you're into security, cloud infrastructure, even traditional infrastructure, that's where you want to be. And so I'd been to AWS Reinforce, and then that's where I heard about reInvent, and I was told it's like 10 times bigger. And so I got in. And so another thing I need to mention is I'd attended this conference free of charge. And
Wow.
that's thanks to AWS All Builders Welcome Grant, which is open to everybody across the world. Everybody
I applied and
can
I was
apply.
unlucky.
I mean, I think the biggest challenge that I've learned over times with people from Nigeria is I know a couple of people that get it, but the stumbling block is the embassy in Lagos or Abuja. But
Very wonderful embassy. The embassy is
I
so
mean,
nice, so nice.
this year we had quite a lot of Nigerians. I met Victory, even though we really didn't talk. But Elizabeth, I met her late, and then we had a very long conversation, and it was fantastic. One thing is, there's a lot of Nigerians that come for either of these conferences, whether from the UK, from Germany, from France, from I met a guy, Razak, from Nigeria, and so it is open to everybody, and we could go onto aws.reinforce or sorry reinforce.awsevents.com for anybody on this call, and then try to subscribe to notifications. So once they release that application, we all should register. I plan to be there again this year as a mentor anyway. Hopefully I get picked. And so AWS reInvent was overwhelming for me. Overwhelming. I mean, the whole of Las Vegas was on lockdown for this event, and sometimes in between sessions, because I'm focused on security. So in between security sessions, you are going through different hotels, sometimes like 30 minutes driving between them. And so it was overwhelming for me. After day two, I just had to stay at the main event center for most of the other sessions that were aligned to my interest. And for me, there was one of those things that was released that really, really caught my attention that I love so much. One of the new features, which is the resource control policy. So anybody that works in AWS would know SCP, but with RCP, you're not granular, so you could really restrict access to specific AWS resources, enforce baseline configurations, and that for me, somebody on security, is very important. And so with that, I just want to put a pause on my talk so that we have
Okay.
other speakers.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that pause. I will just go on with you. I'll just go on with you. I have a specific question tailored for you. You know, when I was looking at you guys' profile, I was drawn to ask questions, and I needed to ask questions based on what you guys do. And when I was looking at your work, I discovered that, man, should I call you a god in cybersecurity field? I mean, we could call you an authority in terms of cybersecurity. So I would love to ask you this question. Given that security is a cornerstone of cloud infrastructure, and considering the recent acceleration of AI technologies discussed at the reInvent, how do you see the intersection of AI and cloud security evolving? You know, with the way everybody is screaming AI, everywhere you go, virtually everybody is shouting AI, AI, AI. How does AI intersect with the cloud to boost to boost cloud security? I know you made mention of a kind of policy that you can use to really streamline controls. You know, I would want you to throw more light on it so that we can, through you, learn what you learned.
So if I get your question correctly, it's about how AI and security intersect, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I mean, in typical business organizations, you would find people at top level really don't like people at top level security, because they feel like we're kind of like stifling business processes, right? And so with AI, the biggest fear for anybody in cybersecurity. The biggest job you do in information security is handle risk. You want to manage risk. That's your biggest job. Whether you are a pen tester, you are a SOC analyst, or whatever it is, your job is to manage risk, right? And so with evolution of AI, right? For me personally, one of my biggest fear is when sensitive information or your IPs, people in your organizations throw it out to the AI. You find people use ChatGPT for a lot of things, and sometimes, like I also mentioned, I'm into privacy. Sometimes they just forget all those guardrails, and then just dump information on it. So for me, I would say it is still an evolving process, because first of all, we are still at that AI maturity is still very much growing, and so we don't know how much capability or how much of capacity or what we can do and undo in it. So until we're able to have a full depth visibility into AI itself and the whole infrastructure, all we can just do is learn from previous infrastructures like cloud itself or like our traditional on-prem infrastructure, and use that to manage risk based on what we know, and also another thing is communicate. One thing I love about what is happening in information security communities, even CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, they are constantly having conversations about how to protect data, how to protect people, how to protect infrastructure. So going forward for me, it is learning. There's going to be a lot of falls, and we would learn from other people's mistake. Hopefully not people learning from us about how to implement AI in our business processes.
Okay, Thank you. Thank you very much, Sir Balogun. I would also
Don't use
want to
my name is just Adebayo. You can just call me Adebayo.
okay. Forgive my Nigerian culture to just add respect to people's names.
Just call
Okay.
me
Thank
Adebayo.
you. Thank you, Balogun, for your
Yeah.
insight into security and cloud infrastructure. We know security is very, very much important to AWS to the point they had to encode it into their pillars. So we want to thank you for your insight. So we'll be moving on to the next person, which is I wanted to say Madam Victory, but Mr. Balogo just corrected me now. So I'll just say Victory. So we're moving on to Victory now. Victory, I have a specific question tailored for you. Like I literally went to the tailor to help me cut this question down for you. So you're a senior DevOps engineer, so it means you must have years of practice, years of deploying pipeline and whatever things that you guys do. I would want to ask, um, considering the close integration between the cloud and DevOps space, what AWS announcements or tools or services um, were, kind of announced during the event that are poised to impact the DevOps community? Were there any new developments, any new versions that were improved? Just throw more light into that, Victory.
Okay, thank you for that. So I think one of the announcements that really got me very excited was S3 tables. Everybody was like S3 tables. Because fine, I'm a DevOps, but I set up infrastructure and also set up pipelines even for our data analytics. So it's kind of all encompassing. So sometimes you find yourself in a company that is not streamlined. So that was that. And we normally use S3 most time as our data lake, data warehouse. And there are sometimes that, although we use data bricks to connect to S3 and do a lot of that, but there are sometimes that you don't want to go through those channels. You just want to be able to query little things on S3 tables and on S3. And so because S3 was not having this easy metadata for querying, it was kind of hard. So when they announced S3 table, I was like, oh, this is for my engineers. Not just for my engineers, but also able to tell them that, oh, rather than us going through Databricks to actually load this data, there are some quick fix we can actually do because Databricks is expensive as you use it. I don't know, that's the data platform. But I was able to tell them that, oh, this is what you should do. That was one of it. But that was the major announcement that kind of, I think also I took to my organization and they adopted it immediately. We didn't know that before. So we can actually do some direct query to S3 bucket through S3 table, and it was kind of awesome. But on my own part, one of the things I learned, it was even during the workshop, right? That was even one of the things I learned about because our application deployment was that we have a lot of mChat for a lot of things, but there was one workshop I went to. So it wasn't a new release, but a workshop that just like, oh, you can just use one mChat and do a lot of deployment. And I started implementing it recently, and it was really very, very nice. So yes, S3 table was a big one for me. I carried it. I posted it on LinkedIn because I knew we needed it in my organization, even though I wasn't a data analyst. But the other one was what I could use to just implement my own.
Okay. Thank you very much, Victory. I myself am also one that is looking into the DevOps field, and I have not really used S3 in depth, but when I saw that S3 metadata querying, I knew during my research, I what they usually say we should do, or what I've discovered they said we should usually do is we get the Amazon Athena and we link it into the S3 to run direct queries. And that is not really cost effective because it means that if you are querying large data sets, you will have to do it in batches. there is that granular ability for you to query your data is not really available there. So that is a good one from AWS. Thank you very much. Those of us that are into DevOps, I would like to say Victory is a senior DevOps engineer with years of extensive practice. So if you need her to tell you so many things or something about DevOps, you can always reach out to her on LinkedIn, right? Yeah, you can always reach out to her on LinkedIn. So thank you very much, Victory Eze. So moving on to Elizabeth. Elizabeth, over here in the AWS community, the AWS user group West Africa here, in one of the WhatsApp group chats that I am in, they recently posted your picture, and everybody was in awe, and I myself, like what Madam Victory said. She said that she, with 2 AWS certifications, her wings were kind of flapping. But when she heard someone has done much more than what she has, there's this humbling and this hunger for you to go for more, and you you really encouraged so many of us over here in your home country. Yeah. So I have a question for you, Victory. My own question, or the question I tailored for you, is not really related to the reInvent. It's much more related to your own personal journey into this your recent achievement, because I felt that people needed to hear what you have done, what made you do it, and how you achieved this. So my first question to you, in order to inspire the audience and to motivate someone there to go for that particular certification that he or she has been pushing down for some time now, is what made you go from 1 to 2, from 2 to 3, from 3 to 4, from 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 to 9 to 10 to 11, and finally 12? What actually prompted you?
So, I also saw someone, and I think that's the beginning. I also saw someone that inspired me. So I didn't end in DevOps because I consult on cloud and DevOps. I didn't end in DevOps like intentionally. I took my first 3 exams as a software engineer, and when I took the third one, that was Solutions Architect Professional, I felt like, oh wow, I've arrived. I mean, I felt like that was a very difficult exam, and now I should go and take all the solutions architect roles. I was ready to be a solutions architect. I didn't know it was no way beyond the exams also. Yes, I had learned stuff, but I wanted to apply it more. I couldn't do that in my current role. So I started looking for a job as a solutions architect. It was at the point of looking for a job as a solutions architect that I ended up in DevOps. Like my supervisor at the time that interviewed me told me, like, you know what, we're not going to hire you for solutions architect. Like, but I think you can be a DevOps engineer. And then it took me on and I started from there. But in joining that company, I met the first person that I had seen that had all the certifications. That was the principal solutions architect at Kreiswerker. His name is Manuel Vogel, and it's still, you still see him comment on my stuff. Like, I see him in the conferences I go to. He was also at reInvent. I took a picture with him there. But I will never forget Manuel because I saw him. He had all the he had all the exams at that point. I saw him with his gold jacket. By the way, I've ordered my gold jacket, so I'm hoping to wear it next time you see me. But yes, I saw him with his gold jacket, and I'm like, wow, 3 is not enough. I want to go for 12 because I saw his excellence. I saw his brilliance. I know that there's no way you will go through all of that and you will come out the same way. Definitely not. You have to learn, you have to study. Even if you say you are somebody that crams, there's no way everything you cram is going to disappear from your head. There's no way. So I saw this person shining brightly, and I wanted to also go further. And he had a positive influence on me, not just the exams that he took, but the way he delivers stuff. He also, was active in the community. He spoke at conferences. He was an AWS ambassador, and he was a principal solutions architect at the company that I was at. So it was evident that it was not just empty certifications that this guy had or that this guy has. Like he had the skills to match the, the charisma to match it and everything. And I just wanted all of that. So yes, that's how I
Okay,
got there.
that is nice. So you were drawn by the golden jacket. That's the summary of.
Well,
That's
maybe not, because I know that golden jacket, you cannot really wear it out like on a normal day. You
yeah,
look
yeah,
weird.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yes, I mean, it's good to have, yeah.
yeah, yeah. I am amazed by your work personally. I too am preparing for my solutions architect associate, and when I saw your 12, I was like, damn, I still have a long way to go in my journey. Then the next question I want to ask is how did you stay focused? One, like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Don't mind me. I must exhaust the amount because it's not easy. I know another person might say 1 to 12. I'm going to call everything individually. So how did you stay focused? Because I know given the current situation of things, especially as a Nigerian, because I'm very sure you can relate to the predicament that we experience over here, even though you are outside. How do you stay focused? How do you stay motivated?
Mm.
And at some point, probably when you reached level 6 or 7, did you ever feel like, okay, I've done enough? And if you felt that way, what prompted you to go for the remaining and finish it up?
So, there were two exams I had to write twice. Like I failed it the first time and I had to write it again. I think those were the toughest points for me
Can you
because
tell us the one? Can you tell us the ones that you failed?
yeah, of course I will tell you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
going to
yeah.
give you the story of how so the first one was the DevOps engineer professional. There are two AWS professional exams. At that point, I already gotten the first professional one. The second professional one, I went for it too early, actually. I said I started the DevOps role, and in less than 3 months, maybe 2 months or so that I was at the role, I'm like, you know what? This is the next one I want to go for. And I went for it. And I came back crying. Oh, well, I wasn't physically crying, but this thing where you see the score is like, only just a little more and all. I was really, really sad about it. But that one, I still felt motivated, like, you know what, I'll go for this exam again in next 2 weeks. But I didn't take it in next 2 weeks. It took a little longer, but I went for it again, preparing better, having gotten more experience at work also, I was able to pass that one. That time was not so depressing, but that was the first time I was feeling. And yeah, it was tough for me. I hadn't failed in uni. I hadn't. It was tough for me. I didn't even want to tell my mom that, oh, I failed this exam that I wrote. But there was that support from the people around me. And that's one thing I want to say before I mention the second exam I failed. At that point, I started being accountable to the people that I also trusted because I saw things would really get tough at some point, yes. But when you've told someone like this year I want to write 3 exams and they keep checking in with you, have you booked your exams? Are you preparing for it? I even had a friend that when I told him that okay, I'm writing these exams, it got with me on the timetable, like how many hours do you want to study for this exam in a day? Like that kind of level of accountability. If you see that you are getting difficult, I mean, it's getting difficult for you on this journey, I think it's good at that point to check in with someone because you want to reach your goal, but you may not be able to carry yourself there alone. So yeah, the second exam that I failed was advanced networking specialty. At this one, I wanted to stop the journey entirely. Advanced networking specialty, I failed it, and I'll explain why I failed that one. But when I failed it, I spoke with my supervisor at that time. Timo Lechner is still my mentor right now. I spoke with him. I'm like, Timo, I don't think I want to finish this 12 certifications journey anymore because I wrote this exam now and I asked myself, why am I even writing all these exams? Advanced networking specialty, I have no intention to ever practice as a network engineer. So why am I trying to get a specialty certification in networking when all the things they were asking me there are things that I don't even do on a normal day. I was learning about these things, putting in effort to learn these things, but I don't even do them. And Timo, as supportive as he always is, it's like, you know what, it is bad if you don't want to continue it, no problem. But if you want to continue this journey, like, I'm here to support you and all that. And I relaxed a little. Maybe like 3 months later, then I picked up everything again when I saw the end goal inside, and that was the AWS community builders community that got me going again. I mean, the AWS community builders, and I saw that there were a lot of people that were ready to get their exams done before reInvent, for different motivations to get their golden jacket or whatever. And I asked myself, why did I ever stop this in the first place? So it was still the people around me that still motivated me to keep going some way to the end, and I picked it up again to complete it before the end of the year, even if I couldn't make it before the event actually happened. So yes, now the reason why I failed that second one, I want to tell you, is because the exams that you write, you need to understand yourself very well to prepare well for it and to go for it very well. That networking exam, let's say, overestimated myself. I'm someone that has to tie the things that I learned theoretically to applications in real life. I need to, do the hands-on labs. I need to apply it because I'm learning for it to stay with me, not just to write the exam. So networking specialty, there's a lot of things in that exam that you cannot use labs to do in AWS environments. You're going to be doing hybrid connectivity, connecting from AWS to on-premise data centers, or building like direct connect connections, VPN pairing, like a lot of situations that are way bigger than just you for you to create a demo environment. And even these platforms, these learning courses online that tell you, okay, they're hands-on labs, a lot of them get to that point, they're not able to prepare you like with physical experience on those particular connectivity hybrid connections. So they just tell you about it. But the second time I was preparing, I was able to find a lecture that did it, though he could only share the video and walk us through his process, but it was still an insight into the actual implementation of these things that I wouldn't get to experience myself. So yeah, I think understanding yourself can really help you, whether you go good way or bad way, you get positive result or negative result in your exams. But yeah, I think that sums it up, my issues and how I got through them.
That's really nice. I mean, when I think the only AWS certification which you don't really need hands-on experience to write is the CCP. You know, it's much more like you draw a cat and you write a cat's name, then you match the cat's name to the diagram of the cat. It's that easy. But from this senior, I mean, this solutions architect associate I'm preparing for, I discovered that you will need to have a level of visualization and a level of hands-on learning in order to understand the question, especially when they are telling you. So some of the questions are usually tailored towards high availability and all those things. Elizabeth, I want to thank you for sharing with us your wisdom over here. I think AWS should just make you the goddess of certifications, because we really
My
really we
pleasure.
really need to we really need to hear about the things you have done. I particularly like the way you stressed about not that I like the way you failed. No, that would sound very bad, but it also shows that you are human after all. I mean, um when I was looking at your LinkedIn, I discovered that you graduated with a first class too from Covenant University. So I was
Okay.
like, oh yeah, this is expected. This is expected, you know. And even though it's expected, you still there were times where the human inefficiency came in, but you were able to carry yourself up and go for your goals. I want to ask one last question. How long did it take you to achieve this? Like, did you do it in the space of 1 year, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? How long?
I wrote the first 3 exams in 2022, and then the another 3 in 2023, and then 6 in 2024.
Wow. Wow, like 6 in 2024. And that was when you wrote home the specialty and the professionals, right?
I wrote the first three I wrote in this order: cloud practitioner, solutions architects, associated solutions architect professional. Then I now went for sysops and what do you call this one? Security specialty. Yeah, sysops,
Yeah.
security specialty, and DevOps pro in the second year. Then I went for the rest in the last year.
Wow. I think we need to create an event for you so that you can come and tell us more about this your certification journey, you know. So with this, we have come to the end of our panel session, and I want to thank all the panelists. I want to thank Balogun. I want to thank Victory. I want to thank you, Elizabeth. You know, you guys really did justice to the questions I asked and provided insights. I want to know if any of us have any last questions. Do we have any questions to ask them? I know, okay, Benga Balogun, your hands, I think I'll be taking only you. You can unmute your mic and ask.
Okay, thank you so much, Ezekiel.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Please,
Thank
please make your
you.
questions
Okay,
very brief, very brief.
okay. Quickly, I wanted to ask, that's Elizabeth, because I guess I followed her from the AWS Community Builder program, where she and herself with some other ladies were sharing their experience, AWS community experience. So that's how I even get to know that there's AWS Nigerian community. So that's how I joined. So I truly appreciate. So I want to ask what material, like practice test, because I know one key thing is practice test, and based on how you've actually prepared for all this exam, I just have 2 certificates, so I'm also planning on writing the professional. So, but one challenge I have is, what practice tests do you think one can actually focus? Because there are so many out there. There's Wiz Labs, there's Stefan Merrick, and the rest of them. Which one do you actually use
So this is
to help you
interesting.
out?
This is interesting because I actually don't use practice exams. I don't use practice tests. Since I was young, I couldn't even use jam practice questions or jam past exams or stuff. If I go for a practice exam or take a practice exam, I won't be able to write the main exam because I feel like I've already written the exam already. So I am not the right person to recommend a practice exam. Honestly, I can ask around for others that have, gone through the journey and, collate maybe a list of recommended resources like that. But I can recommend actual like resources for the exam itself, the study session and all that. But maybe if it's practice exam, I'm the wrong person to ask.
Okay, Benga, just to help you there, so that we can move on to the next thing that we have today. Everybody, each and every one of us has a unique way of learning. What works for me might not work for you. What works for you might not work for Elizabeth, you know. So she said she doesn't like practice exams. I use practice exams. And I know so many people also use practice exams, and so many people don't use practice exams. So what I would advise you to do is, since you have written 2 already, you should have understood a pattern of learning that best suits you. With the CCP, any pattern of learning you use works. Whether you read 1 hour a day, as long as you're able to amass much knowledge during your reading, you are very good for the CCP. But for the solutions architect and the subsequent certifications, you need a different way of learning, and you have already written one already. So you should, from there, ask yourself, how did I practice for this? What helped me pass? What helped me pass? And how can I study more, or how can I improve on it? Because if you decide to go with what Miss Elizabeth has said, you might find yourself drowning in so many exam
Yeah.
receipts. So just find what works for you. Just find what works for you, please. So with this, I want to thank each of our panelists, from Victory to Balogun to Elizabeth. Thank you very much for coming here to speak with us. Then what I want to also ask is, if you need to speak with them, maybe you have a personal thing that is disturbing you in terms of tech journey, please don't go and be asking our panelists for money. Nigeria has happened to me. Don't go and be asking our panelists for money or for financial help. Please desist from doing that. Keep your questions tech related, and I'm very sure they will be open to help you. So thank you. The host can now take over from here.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, so thank you very much for that wonderful session, right? So yeah, I'll reiterate on that again, please. You can ask your host, you can ask your mentor, rather, you can ask your mentor for anything, but I would advise not to ask your mentor for financial assistance. Yes, it's a very good thing. You are going to learn a lot if you do it that way, right? So proceeding further, moving on to the next session, which is the quiz session right now. So those of you that are staying with us up till now, and if you are just joining, well, you are lucky. So we are sharing some price right now. So I'm going to drop a link in the chat section. So you guys can just follow up to the link and answer the predefined questions there. Yeah. So here we go. We can all get started right now. So the question are actually based on what has been done so far in today's event. So guys, because of time, we will be throwing up just 10 minutes for the questions. So just to mention, if you have any further question or just want to start your cloud journey, of course, it might be some kind of headache to actually create an AWS account, especially if you're in Nigeria. Yeah, I'm aware of that. So that's why it's very advisable you should join the AWS user group, right? Join, ask your question. There are a lot of experts that are there to actually assist you. Trust me, your journey is going to be a lot more easier and faster if you actually do that, rather than trying to figure it out even by yourself.
Sorry, Afolabi. I think I can't be the only one. I'm struggling to find the link to the quiz itself. So I don't know
Okay.
if you've posted it somewhere else.
Yeah, I posted it to the chat session. Let me just do that again. Can you see it now?
I'm trying to refresh my feed. Yeah, thanks.
All right, no problem. You're welcome.
Sorry, Afolabi, once again. I think people are having issues accessing the questions. So maybe if you want to check via another means to see the questions are up. From my own end, I don't see anything also. I just see welcome to AWS 2024 reInvent
Wow.
recap quiz. So I don't
Okay,
know
a
if you
moment.
can. Yeah.
A
Thanks.
moment. Let me try to build myself using another browser. I think that will make it much more better. Okay, I think it's up right now.
Yes, it is. Thanks.
All right. You're welcome. Okay, we have 5 more minutes, guys. Someone is still having issue with the question.
Yeah.
Wow, can you unmute your mic?
Sorry, I'm getting the presenter hasn't changed slides at just the beginning.
Same with me too. I'm just getting it hasn't changed slide.
Wow.
That's what I get it too.
Up till now.
Yeah.
Just at the beginning.
Okay, no problem then. We'll make this easier for everyone, right? To save our time. I think, okay, same here. Wow. Well, I think it's a general problem then. It's a general problem.
I want to change browser and see if it's a browser issue.
No, I don't think it's a browser issue because now it's popping question 2 out of 5.
I just saw 2 out of 5 now.
So I think it requires you to continuously, that's Afolabi, to continuously post the questions and then press next.
Go now.
Yeah.
No,
It works perfect now.
No, is this depend on where we are? Is this the beginning now?
It's just question 2 out of 5. That's all I can see here.
I'm trying to actually make a bigger screen right now. Okay, let's understand something, guys. Let's understand something. Have you guys been able to answer question 1?
Question 1 didn't I don't think question 1 popped up for anybody. It was started from question 2, which is the serverless billing, and it's on question 3 right now. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's start again.
Yeah.
Okay, I think the best way to do this right now, to save our time, we are gonna drop a Google form in the comment section. Understand?
It's gone back to the.
So
Yes.
So we're gonna drop the Google form in the comment section, right? So it would recommend that everyone should fill the Google form. So we are going to follow up with the questions through the Google form. You understand? Then from there we can proceed further to actually know who actually won and who is going to get the prizes. To save our time, guys.
I'm starting with the
Sorry for the technical issues we're having.
It's okay right now.
All right, so moving further, I guess we go on to our closing remarks right now. All right. So guys, thanks a lot for joining this session, right? It has been a really awesome session. In fact, I got much more than what I actually expected as a host myself. You understand? So far, so we have talked about new inventions that have come up in AWS. It talks about generative AI and a whole lot of stuff, right? So I would advise you like watch the recorded YouTube video at your convenient time to actually get a full grasp of what have you done so far, right? So moving further, I'll be calling the person that will be giving us the final remarks, which is Jamil, right? Jamil, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you so much, Falabi, for being a wonderful host. And let me start by appreciating first our guest speaker, uh, who 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 did a very wonderful job and also showed us some of the way in order for us to be able to get some application done with some of the new announcements. And also, I must actually appreciate starting from Elizabeth. She is an amazing personality. I could remember when I contacted her and she just gave us a yes answer immediately. And I think she did a very wonderful job. And I know that she is on the pathway to being one of the strongest female in the cloud parts around the globe. I also want to appreciate Victory for being here and for sharing her experience with us, and also Adebayo. Adebayo has a very unique pathway, especially when it comes to cloud security. It's an aspect that it's quite rare in our time, and it's something that going forward, a lot of people are actually willing to be in that space. I think he's doing very great within that part, and some of us are also following that footstep. So also part of the things I also want us to know in terms of there are some basic announcements, and I also want to appreciate everyone for joining. It is quite a very wonderful day. Uh, I've seen a lot of people joining from different places, people from Germany, from Netherlands, from the UK, and also some people from Canada where I am here, and a lot of people around, even Nigeria and different part of Africa. And I believe that going forward, we are going to have more fantastic and engaging events than what we have actually prepared now. And also, I want to say that AWS Nigerian User Group, our monthly event has actually come to stay. So expect something from us in the month of February, and I hope going forward within before the year runs out, every single 1 year we would have actually learned, not only learning, we would have actually also have a well-detailed channel of implementing our pathway in the cloud environment. The focus is not just about gathering people and speaking on a monthly basis, but the focus mainly is about making we Nigerians, charting the pathway for the world in the cloud environment, especially when we are talking about AWS. And I believe the faces I see here, we can actually do better in terms of before the year runs out, a whole lot of us would have actually moved into the professional space within the cloud environment. And that is what we're actually hoping for. And finally, some of the announcement that we have, if you have not done that, the first one is the AWS Community Builder. The AWS Community Builder application is out now, and we is going to be we are going to have it's going to end. The application ends on the 20th of this month. So if you have not applied yet, this is your opportunity to go ahead and apply. Don't think about it twice. If you apply now and you are not taking, you still have opportunity next year. So don't postpone the application. For some of us, I've been an AWS community builder for the past 4 years, and I can tell you it's one of the best community that you can ever be. Then also, if you want to be a technical speaker, AWS has an application on for AWS New Voice. And I think in 2023, the AWS New Voice was actually dealt with specific people. They have just only about, I think, 100 people around the world. And as at last year, only 200 people was given the opportunity in the last year. It's a 5 weeks training program. I happen to be one of the beneficiaries last year in 2024, and I can tell you it's one of the best. You have one of the world speakers in the technical space, one of the best world speakers in technical space, teaching you how to speak. And I think it's one of the best things that you can actually get. So we are going to also post the link on the group and we'll share it with us. So AWS, the application of that is also one we can try as much as possible to apply. This time around, they have opened it to the general public. It's not just only for community builders or user group leaders. Anybody around the world can actually apply to that. And finally, apart from he has said this, Adebayo has said this, AWS Reinforce is going to come up sometimes around June. The application will start coming in around uh, around May. I think it's early May that we are going to have the Reinforce. The Reinforce is security specific event for AWS, and I think that it's something that a whole lot of us, if you are interested in security, you need to try as much as possible to apply. Who knows? That might be your pathway into a greater part in the cloud security field. So these are some of the information I have. Once again, I want to really appreciate every one of us for joining, and I hope that we will see your face very soon, probably next month. And I hope that you will not just only use this as an information sake, you will use it as a way of reigniting your pathway into the cloud field. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks a lot, Shami, for that wonderful closing remarks. Right. So, guys, don't forget to join the community. You understand? So you can ask your questions there. Then, I don't know, the speakers, are you willing to share your contact details, maybe your LinkedIn or probably your email address or something, so that your audience can reach out to you in case of any question or something? Perhaps you can drop it in the chat section. Okay, so I'm dropping the Google form right now, guys. So you can fill the information with your email and your name. So from there, you can follow up. Hold on, let me try to grab the actual position. So guys, just follow up with the, okay, yeah. So guys, just follow up with the link and just input your details. So from there, we can proceed further concerning the quiz part. Right, so thanks a lot for joining once again, right? So we'll be having another session like this sometime around April this year, right? So you can also follow with the meetup page to actually get more information further about it, right? Okay, people are not just with the Google form, no questions. Because I want to actually ensure this actually work before okay. Okay. I've seen the problem. Okay. Wow, you can try this link now. Yeah, I know. Just drop your name. You will be contacted through the email about to proceed with the quiz. Your email and your name, that's all. So I'm dropping my X handle right on my WhatsApp, so you guys can reach out to me in case of you have any issues. Right. So thanks a lot, guys, for joining. So the Google form will be open for the next 10 minutes. So it's available, you fill it right now. So those that actually fill that, those that will be contacted.